in a voice laden with grief and despair. "58-year-old Nana Kwaku, chief of Empire, pours out his frustration on how he and his subjects have become refugees in their own land. This farming community in the Kwaku East district of the eastern region of Ghana is now a ghost town. Nomadic Fulani herdsmen and their cattle have forced over 600 residents out. Empire has since 2002 been under constant attack of armed Fulanis who let their cattle loose onto farmlands to destroy crops. At least 2 natives were shot and killed, while 2 others sustained gunshot wounds within 5 months. Ruins of deserted mud and brick houses stare at me, with no sign of their owners returning. Well, my name is Ohimin Teria, and today on Hotline, I travel to communities which have been under siege by nomads who unleash terror on indigents, destroying crops, raping and killing innocent people. A basic school which had over 200 pupils, some from surrounding villages and hamlets, has now become a home for rodents. Nananson says he and his subjects have been forced to relocate to nearby Afuni, Hwehwe, Aduamwa, Abitifin and Nkoko, which have fewer nomadic herdsmen. Sporting a black cloth to symbolize grief, he says his people are too weak to confront the armed herdsmen who wield sophisticated weapons.
School I KG Kosi Dame 6 and I'm a Fulani for an eminent painting. I'm a school nagu. There many boys are often say Omen Yamo man among fat and then Emma Kruno Empire a school officer and Pino Quanaso.
Empire they were having a school starting from kindergarten 1 up to primary 6, but the school is no more because of the onset of this Fulani herdsmen, and then the parents they've migrated. They are peasant farmers. What they do is farming. They farm there, and then the land it has been taken over by the Fulani herdsmen. Whatever they sow, they will go and then destroy it.
Besides Empire, about 17 vibrant and active communities in the district are virtually dead. Amongst them, Demano, Nsarie, Wadikrum, Alajekra and Yamafo, Tumiayibi, Owakonton, Aseja, and Kwakwakura. Residents in 14 communities were forced to leave their homes in 2014.
The school has been abandoned, has been closed down close to a month now due to the Fulani incidents, shooting incidents that has been happening around this place. The school has an enrollment of over 200. We have so many villages around it. We have Mepemasem, we have Obuechi, we have Sakaku, we have Delku, we have Mepemasem Asisieso, Oboyan. That fits this very school. Okay. And it has been closed down for close to a month now. Teachers are afraid to come to school because of the shooting incident that has been happening here.
How is the community taking this issue?
It's very, very sad. And it looks as if we are slaves in our own land. And it looks as if we are not even part of Ghana.
The latest to be hit by the exodus is Mepemasem. The community has been attacked twice in 2 years by herdsmen. In the more recent onslaught, about 11 armed nomadic herdsmen descended on inhabitants, shooting to death 20-year-old Emmanuel Boatin, also known as Kojo, on the farm a week earlier. Victims and other residents fled to neighboring Asisieso, where the local Pentecost church building served as their camp. Even then, they had to be put under strict surveillance by a crack team from the police anti-terrorism unit from the Nkoko Divisional and Eastern Regional Commands. Similar operations were mounted at Hwehwe in an effort to arrest the perpetrators.
The Fulanis ransacked their rooms. For now, even food to eat is a problem. Once they are in here, food to eat is a problem. Two, they sold their money. So something to put into their pocket is also a problem. And for now, they don't have water. So we need to be serving them water.
Local farmers have had repeated distasteful encounters with the Normas, culminating in reprisal attacks. 4 people have been killed within a period of 4 months this year alone. 2 of them are Normas. Police are overwhelmed by the bloodshed, besides the high cost of maintaining law and order in the area.
If you have been there before, you understand the situation. Sometimes you sit in Accra, you sit in wherever, you sit and you just talk. When you go to the ground, that you understand the realities of the game. These Fulanis, I don't know, they can do so many things. They talk to these animals, and the animal, they instruct them and they take instructions. Before you realize, they are coming on you.
They are so overstretched in both funds and logistics as they buy fuel on credit. Here is Chief Superintendent James Safo-Pepra, who commands the Nkoko Division.
As security, we move in convoy. So we send a lot of people there. How they are fed, everything is on the police. And that is really costing us. And the fuel too, as I said, at times we are compelled to even go into credit. We have to, at times, credit fuel just to send men to operational grounds. And that is really costing the division a lot.
Perhaps the revelation by police suggests intensified state effort and resources are required to tackle the menace. On Wednesday, February 15, 2017, residents of Mepemasem had an opportunity to return home and pick up the pieces. This was after police satisfied itself of a normalized atmosphere. Under police escort, residents were led to their deserted homes the first time in several weeks. What was supposed to be a joyous moment, however, turned into grief. Because it was the first time Emmanuel Boateng's mother stepped foot on the soil since her son was killed by herdsmen.
I felt good escorting them as a police commander. Yes, bringing them back home. That I appreciate it. But I really felt sad when the people got to Mepemasem and some started wailing. It was so bad. And I felt very sad.
He promises intensified effort to secure returnees at home, but there is no certainty about what happens to people when they go to the farm.
Nobody won and nobody will win. Because Kofi Asumani, 48 years, was killed on the 29th of November. Then 28th of January, one Danji, 30 years, who is a Fulani, was also killed. The following day, Kojo was also killed here. And then 2nd February, Manu Abubakari was also killed with his male organ cut off. So nobody has won and nobody will win. It's 2 against 2, and that is very bad.
The nomad native standoff in the Kou area has had a toll on education. Students, teachers and other education workers are sometimes caught in the crossfire. Authorities have had a tough time arriving at decisions to close down schools in these areas, which have seen violent clashes between the Normals and the indigents. In February this year, 7 schools were closed down for months on recommendation of the District Security Committee as a result of sporadic shooting in the communities. District Director of Education Akwasi Buafo had close shave with death when he was caught in crossfire during one of his school monitoring trips at Abutransa in 2016.
Sometimes they come as rumors, but I have had the occasion myself that last year to witness a typical scene of that nature. Wow. Yes, exactly at one of the villages called Abutransa. Yes, the situation then was an I saw indiscriminate shooting. The Fulanis will shoot at anything that they think potentially is an object of provocation that will endanger their lives. So they rape, kill, and get away with such things.
Besides, Mr. Buafo has temporarily put a hold on posting female teachers to endemic communities as women are targets of rape by herdsmen.
This particular problem has even also educated me in a way. I have now learned that it will be unwise for me to be posting female teachers to such areas. Because when such things normally happen, they become targets.
Confrontation between local farmers and foreign nomadic herdsmen escalated in 2016 and early 2017. Teachers live in constant fear as security agencies struggle to find lasting solution to the problem. Most of them have put in transfer requests, which put education authorities in a tight corner. Closure of schools in risk areas has become the only option for education authorities.
In a situation like this, where we also find out that schools are located in those areas, we have no option than to close them, because if the parents themselves are running away for their lives, how can we also insist that schools must be run?
The situation in Kwahu East is similar to what farmers and residents at Agogo and other communities in the Asante Achim North District of the Ashanti region have endured for decades. Agogo Mamaku, made up of Agogo Youth Association and the concerned citizens of Agogo, claim 65 natives of Agogo and settler farmers have been killed and many others maimed over the last 15 years. This cannot, however, be independently verified, not even from police. The court on January 20, 2012, ordered in a mandatory injunction, directed the Ashanti Regional Security Council to take immediate, decisive, efficacious and efficient action to flush out all cattle in the following villages and localities in the Agogo traditional area.
It was a landmark victory for the farmers. People jubilated when we had I remember we went with 3 loads of buses to Kumasi, the presence of the High Court. And when they actually had a judgment, jubilation started from Kumasi to Agogo. So when the regional administration came in and said that we're looking at the modalities and getting a date and getting resources to flush them out, my clients relaxed, hoping that when an order of the High Court is directed at the regional administration, they will live up to expectation.
The period between 2014 and 2016 has been bloody in Agogo over government's failure to enforce the 2012 ruling by a High Court in Kumasi. According to the High Court's ruling, the only exceptions are cattle that have been properly confined in permitted locality. 5 years down the lane, government has virtually thrown the ruling away. Paid lip service as ordinary Ghanaians suffer murder, torture, and other atrocities from invaders. Government also failed to implement recommendations of an 11-member committee it set up on February 7, 2012 to draw an evacuation plan for Fulani herdsmen and their cattle from Agogo area.
My clients must wake up. There are ways. For instance, we can go for a mandamus order against the people that the order or the High Court was directed to. And if they are not able to live up to expectation, then the court can punish them. Period.
This monumental failure plunged Agogo into a state of insecurity. Murder, rape, and destruction of farms by cattle have since become the order of the day.
The High Court ruled in our favor that Regional Security Council are to deploy some security men here to drive them or to enforce them to go away from our stool land. But when they came here, they didn't do anything in our favor. They just came here, protected the cattle from grazing around our area. They didn't have the intention of driving them away at all. When as a man from Agogo here, if you are a hunter and you see that you are holding a gun, they will seize the gun from you. But when these Fulani people, when they see that you are holding their guns, they won't do anything. So we are not satisfied with what they came here to do at all.
It has taken 6 regional ministers who chaired the Ashanti Regional Security Council in 5 years to implement what looked like a simple High Court order. Kwakwachi Mensa, Samuel Sapong, Eric Opoku, Peter Nefi, and John Alenzada Akon are all under NDC government. Enter Simon Osei Mensah of the current NPP administration, and there is still no end in sight. The effect is persistent confrontation between natives of Agogo and herdsmen, resulting in loss of lives and property. Mr. Akon told me in an interview in April 2016 it will be difficult to remove all cattle from Agogo due to the complex nature of the issue. Agogo Mamaku has been at the forefront of the fight to rid the area of nomadic herdsmen.
The youth are very mad to the extent that immediately they set their eyes on a Fulani person, then they want to pounce on the person and kill the person. Immediately they set their eyes on a cattle or a cow in town, they want to drive the cattle away. It's all because the Fulani herdsmen and their cattle have been killing their relatives, fathers, parents, and other staffs. As we speak, the Fulani herdsmen are still here. They are still causing havoc to our people, still destroying water bodies, still raping our women, but nothing has been done about it. Because of that, the youth are very angry.
The problem is still with us. We are living with the cattle railers. You can pick your camera and go to the Mankara, Koreso, Pataban, Aberapon areas, Mentukwa. They are still there.
The tripartite affiliates have organized several street protests, press conferences and meetings to put pressure on both government and traditional authorities over the violent normas. The groups issued threats and concretized them. For instance, the group's ban on funerals in September 2011 was adhered to, respected and implemented throughout Agogo land. It has since been lifted back in February. The group grew in strength when some traditional and opinion leaders joined their meetings and protest marches. Agogo Mahima, Nana Sewa Afrakuma Kisi, wore dress to join such protests. Then Member of Parliament, Kojoba Ajimai and other aspirants all rallied behind the advocacy group. Repeated killing of natives by the nomadic herdsmen between 2011 and 2016 made the group more visible and vociferous. What perhaps broke the camel's back was the gruesome murder of the community's chief priest, 35-year-old Okonfo Akwesibedu, at Koreso on January 11, 2016. News of Akwesibedu's death started as a rumor until police brought the body to the morgue. His wife was heartbroken.
See, the way and manner he was killed was very brutal. Have you seen the picture? Very brutal. You can't even look at the picture. An innocent person. You see, he had even gone to them just to talk to them. And look at the way and manner. Shot him close range in his face. It ignited so much. And then for him to have been killed in that barbaric way was too much. Was too much for the township to absorb. So that's why it got us back into the whole issue.
She has had to endure unforgettable pain at the loss of her husband.
I didn't come to say money be free hako. Say money free hako dia, and then I'm come to me. And no son of cry, mean to a mudding crana, my kaimi kun. And then Cabell boy me pa. If he says, I cry, mamma call from crana, na my yam shimmy. HSA, and wait as war.
Mavis breaks down, weeps uncontrollably anytime her elder son asks of the whereabouts of his father. The unemployed mother of two depends on the mother for everything, from feeding to kids' school fees.
It's a demonstration of Kobe. Or wounds, or bosom pie. Send a bear money be free as Yako. Be a Rebecca suffer fulani for Numbiano, or can be. It's known as not when I come send a bear and one be free as Yako.
This is someone not only serving the gods, but also was a true citizen. Very nice, fine mind. And people believed in him. Okay? We believed that he had the powers. People had gone to him to seek for spiritual powers. So none of us, particularly the people in his community, nobody ever thought and believed that Okonfo Badu could be brought down the way and manner the Fulanis killed him. So we didn't understand. How could that happen? And if that spiritualist, the man with powers on his own, who has saved most of us, can be killed, then people became very scared that we were not safe.
The murder of the spiritualist, who left behind a family, including a 6-month-old baby, angered residents who threatened to kill any nomadic herdsman on sight.
The way and manner he was killed was very brutal. Have you seen the picture? Very brutal. You can't even look at the picture. An innocent person. You see, he had even gone to them just to talk to them. And look at the way and manner. Shot him close range in his face. It ignited so much. And again, from his community where he lived in the Obuasi area, he had been promoting peaceful. He was part of the whole peaceful agenda. Okay, ensuring that we can resolve this in a peaceful manner. Okay, and then for him to have been killed in that barbaric way was too much. Was too much for the township to absorb.
That threat, issued by the group, took then Inspector General of Police John Kudalo and other security couples to visit Agogo. Major General Pokwedu say, then Chief of Army Staff, DCOP Kofi Boachi, then Ashanti Regional Police Commander Peter Anafi Mensah, the former Regional Minister for Ashanti, were on the trip. A military police team was put on standby for Operation Cow Leg, a program introduced about 30 years ago by former military ruler, the late General Echampong, to combat nomadic herdsmen activities. Not even an assurance by former President Mahama to construct a cattle village in northern part of Ghana could bring change. He announced during a visit to Simpua in the heat of the 2016 election campaign, government had acquired 10,000 hectares of land in the northern part of the country to relocate nomadic herdsmen and their cattle from troubled areas of the country.
The chiefs were not helping us. Their interests as chiefs of the town, their interests were just attending funerals. So we came up with an idea that perhaps we have to ban funerals so that the chiefs will pay attention to this issue. So we all, at some point, I think around October of 2011, we all decided to organize this thing and ban funerals in the town because no one was at peace here. We couldn't be organizing funerals for Fulani to be killing us and organizing funerals. We were not at peace. So we felt that would draw the attention of our chiefs to come and support the issue. Our Queen Mother, very peaceful Queen Mother, her funeral was also coming up in November of that year. Okay? And then our Omahene, his uncle, who really helped him to get his education, had also died. His funeral was also slated for October. And none of them ever took place. For 6 months, we had no funeral.
Dr. Nana Ahin Thompson is the medical superintendent of Agogo Presbyterian Hospital. As a physician and surgeon, he and 30 other medical officers see farmers who have fallen victim to the nomadic herdsmen attack and vice versa. Averagely, 5 bodies of locals are deposited at the hospital's morgue in a week. It was higher in 2015 and 2016.
I cannot give offhand the number of cases, but we received quite a lot. Injuries, people brought in dead from gunshot wounds, and then people, sometimes even people decapitated. Apart from the Fulanis fighting the locals, you have cases of Fulani on Fulani violence, and they also brought here. And sometimes there are some, in a week, sometimes you can have 5 or 6 such cases. And then there is an interval, a break, and then it starts again.
News of a body of a native murdered by nomadic herdsmen arriving at the Agogo hospital always spread like wildfire, putting pressure on the only referral facility in the area.
People troop in to come and just observe what is going on, and it's been one of our problems. We have security men, but sometimes it's difficult to control the crowd. And even while you are working inside the theater, people rush in and try and just to catch a glimpse of what is happening. Or when bodies are brought, people just rush in. So our security, at such times, our security men have a lot of work to do, a lot of pressure is put on them.